All right, everyone, let's dive right in. Today, we're all about AI chatbots for e-commerce. They're kind of blowing up right now. We've got this awesome article, AI chatbots for e-commerce. How to pick return on now. Think of it like our cheat sheet for this whole chatbot thing.
Yeah, it can definitely get overwhelming. There's so much to consider.
Right, and it's not a decision to take lightly, especially for e-commerce businesses. That instant connection with customers,
Yeah,
it's everything.
absolutely. It can make or break a sale. It's like if you're not available when they have a question, they're gone.
Oof. Exactly. And that's where a chatbot comes in, right? It's like your 24/7 sales team, always ready to go. But hold on, the article says we got to pump the brakes a bit before jumping into the deep end. We need to define our needs first.
It's so tempting to just go for the bells and whistles. But, step back and ask, what are we trying to achieve with this chatbot?
Yeah, like what's the big picture? Are we trying to lighten the load on our customer support team or maybe boost those conversions or even gather more leads?
Right. Each goal could lead you to a completely different chatbot.
Imagine going grocery shopping without a list. You end up with a cart full of stuff you don't even need. So let's say our main goal is to really up our customer support game. The article says 24/7 availability is huge GE for that, and multi-language support too.
Imagine no matter what time zone your customer's in or what language they speak, boom, they get help. It's all about that accessibility and keeping them happy.
Happy customers equal loyal customers.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got our goals sort of figured out. What's next?
The article talks about knowing your customer. It's not one size fits all, right?
Of course not. Every customer is different.
Exactly. Like, are they mostly on mobile? Do they want quick answers? Or are they looking for something more in depth? You got to tailor that chatbot experience.
That's where smooth mobile integration and those customizable conversations come in, right?
Oh, for sure. And you know what gets really interesting? The article talks about natural language processing, NLP.
NLP. Okay, I'm intrigued,
Yeah.
but break that down for me. What's
Yeah.
the big deal?
Think of it as the brain power behind the chatbot. It's what lets it understand not just the words, but the meaning behind them, the feeling even.
Whoa, so it's like it can pick up on sarcasm
Right.
or if someone's frustrated.
Yep. A chatbot with strong NLP can handle all that. It can figure out slang, know when someone's upset, even adjust its tone to match the customer.
Wow, so it's not just spitting out pre-programmed responses, it's actually getting the human side of things.
Exactly. And that makes the whole interaction feel so much more natural. People trust it more.
Okay, we've got our goals, we kind of get our customers, we want that smart NLP. What's next on our chatbot checklist?
Now we got to think about the platform. Cloud-based or on-premise, it's like, are we renting an apartment or building our own house?
I like that analogy. Cloud-based seems easy, right? You just jump in, it's flexible, it scales up as you grow.
Definitely. But on-premise, that gives you control. Like you're in charge of your data, your security, the whole 9 yards.
So many choices already. And we
Yeah.
haven't even talked about the different types of chatbots.
Don't worry, the article's got us covered there too. There's customer support bots, sales and marketing bots, even accounting bots. Like who knew?
Whoa, so many options.
Yeah.
I guess choosing the right type comes back to that main goal we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Like if it's all about those leads, then yeah, a sales and marketing chatbot, that's your best friend.
All right, so let's say we've done all that. Goals, customers, platform, type.
Yeah.
We're good to go, right?
Well, almost. We got to figure out how we're going to measure this chatbot's success. Like, how do we know if it's actually worth it?
Ah, good point. It's easy to get lost in all the cool tech stuff and forget about the bottom line.
Exactly. And that's where KPIs come in. The article's big on setting those up front.
KPIs. Okay, refresh my memory. What are those again?
Key performance indicators, like what are we aiming for? A certain number of leads, fewer customer support tickets, maybe happier customers?
We definitely want happy customers.
Exactly. By defining those KPIs right from the start, we can track how the chatbot's doing, make tweaks along the way. It's like having a little dashboard telling us if it's doing its job.
So it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing. We got to keep an eye on it, make sure it's working for us.
Exactly. But before we even get to that, there's one more crucial step the article talks about: training.
Okay, now that sounds interesting. Training a chatbot. Tell me more.
It's all about teaching it the ropes, It needs to understand our business, our products, our whole vibe, and how to talk to our customers.
Like giving it a crash course in all things our business.
You got it. And the better the training, the better it'll be at handling those customer interactions.
So it's more than just plugging it in and hoping for the best. There's a real art to this.
Totally. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack in the next part of our deep dive. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of chatbot training and how to turn it into a real asset for your e-commerce business.
Ooh, sounds good. Can't wait.
Welcome back. We were just getting into the whole training thing with these chatbots, making sure they're ready for prime time.
Right. Like I was saying, it's like training a puppy. Got to teach it all the tricks.
Exactly. The article's really big on that whole training process, making sure your chatbot really gets your business inside and out.
Okay, so let's say we've got our chatbot platform all set up and ready to go. Where do we even begin with this training thing?
Think of it kind of like building a knowledge base for your chatbot, Loading it up with all the info about your products, pricing, shipping, returns, the whole shebang.
So it's like creating a giant FAQ document, but specifically for the chatbot.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But it's more than just dumping a bunch of text in there. We need to make sure it's organized, logical, so the chatbot can actually find what it needs. You know what I mean?
Right, because a confused chatbot isn't going to be very helpful to anyone.
Exactly. The article talks about organizing stuff by category, using clear language, even thinking about keywords customers might use when they're asking questions.
Makes sense. We want the chatbot to quickly connect the dots between a question and the right answer.
And that leads us to another big part of training. Teaching the chatbot to handle different kinds of conversations.
Wait, so it's not just about answering factual questions. It needs to be able to, like, have a real conversation.
Exactly. Think about all the different ways a customer might approach the chatbot. They might have a quick question or need help with a problem. Maybe they're happy, maybe they're frustrated.
That's a lot for a chatbot to juggle. How do we even begin to train it for all of that?
One thing the article mentions is conversational flow mapping. It's like creating a visual map of all the different directions a conversation might go.
Oh, so it's like those choose-your-own-adventure books, but for chatbots.
You got it. By mapping those flows, we can anticipate the twists and turns and train the chatbot to handle them smoothly.
That sounds super helpful, especially for those times when a customer might be upset or confused.
Exactly. We want the chatbot to be able to calm things down, reassure the customer, and lead them to a happy ending, so to speak.
Okay, knowledge base, check. Conversational flows, check. Anything else we need to think about in this training process?
The article also talks about giving your chatbot some personality. You want it to sound like part of your team, not just some random bot.
Right, it needs that human touch. But how do we give a chatbot personality?
It starts with figuring out your brand's voice. Are we playful? Are we more formal? Once we know that, we can start baking it into the chatbot's responses.
So it's not just what the chatbot says, but how it says it.
Exactly. Think about word choice, sentence structure, even using emojis or a bit of slang here and there. It all adds up.
This makes me think about those chatbots that have, like, names and little avatars. Does that stuff really matter?
It can. The article says giving your chatbot a name and a face can make it seem more friendly, more relatable. It helps build that connection we were talking about earlier.
It's like you're talking to a friendly helper, not just some faceless machine.
Exactly. And that can make a big difference in how people interact with the chatbot and how they feel about your brand.
This is all great stuff, but honestly, I'm starting to wonder, how much time are we talking about here? Training a chatbot effectively. I mean, running an e-commerce business is already a lot.
That's a fair point. The article does say it takes time and effort, no doubt about it. But the payoff, it can be huge.
So it's about weighing those upfront costs with the long-term benefits.
Exactly. And there are tools out there that can make the process easier. Some platforms have like pre-built templates, even machine learning that can help automate some of the work.
Oh, that's good to know. Sounds like we can use technology to, like, train the technology.
Exactly. And don't forget, there are tons of resources out there to help. Online tutorials, webinars. You can even hire a consultant if you need to.
Feels like there's a whole support system to help businesses get this chatbot thing right.
That's because at the end of the day, we want a chatbot that's like a seamless extension of our team, providing awesome customer service and helping our business grow.
Okay, we've got our knowledge base. We're mapping those conversations, adding in some personality. Anything else we need to remember?
One thing the article brings up, and it's something people often forget, is ongoing maintenance. Your chatbot isn't a set it and forget it deal.
Right, e-commerce, it's always changing, new products, new trends, customers change their minds all the time.
Exactly. We got to regularly check in, update the chatbot's knowledge, those conversational flows, even tweak its personality to keep it fresh and relevant.
So it's like giving your chatbot A regular tune-up, making sure it's running smoothly and doing its job.
Exactly. And this is where choosing the right platform really matters. Some platforms have built-in analytics to track how the chatbot's doing, pinpoint areas we might need to tweak.
That's super helpful. We don't want to be flying blind, right? We need to know if it's actually working.
Data is key. By looking at how customers are interacting with the chatbot, we can learn so much about what they need, what they like, what frustrates them.
It's like having a direct line into their thoughts. And we can use that to make the chatbot even better and even improve our whole business strategy.
Exactly. It's about constantly learning and improving, making sure the chatbot's always evolving to serve our customers and our business.
This has been eye-opening. We've covered so much about training and launching these chatbots. Any last words of advice before we wrap up this deep dive?
I'd just say, don't expect perfection right away. It takes time. Experiment, make adjustments, learn as you go.
It's a journey, not a sprint, right?
Exactly. And if you're willing to put in the effort, your chatbot can become a real rock star for your e-commerce business.
All right, everyone, get ready. We're about to explore the future of AI chatbots and e-commerce. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive. And we're back for the grand finale of our chatbot deep dive. We've talked about picking the right AI chatbot and then, actually getting it up and running, training it like a pro.
Yeah, now it's time to look ahead, right? Where's this whole chatbot thing going? What's next?
The article doesn't just leave us hanging. It gives us a glimpse into the future, some pretty cool stuff on the horizon.
Oh yeah, like natural language processing, NLP. It's getting smarter all the time.
Right, the brains behind the bot.
Exactly. And as it gets more advanced, those conversations, they're going to be so lifelike. I mean, you might not even know you're talking to a bot.
That's kind of freaky, but also amazing.
Ah,
But, it makes you wonder, what happens when they get too good? Like, could it become, I don't know, deceptive?
that's a good point. Definitely something to think about. The article talks about transparency. Like, even if the bot's super smart, businesses got to be upfront about it. Let people know they're talking to a machine.
Yeah, transparency is key, especially as people get more used to AI. They don't want to feel tricked.
Absolutely. And you know what else is coming? Hyper-personalization.
Okay, I'm listening.
Like, imagine a chatbot that knows what you've bought before, what you browse online, even your style.
Whoa, it's like you can read your mind.
Kinda. And it uses all that info to give you super tailored recommendations and offers.
That's next level. But also, a little creepy. What about our privacy with all that data?
Yeah, that's the flip side. Businesses have got to be careful, use that data responsibly, ethically.
That's a tough balance, right? Giving people that awesome personalized experience, but also respecting their privacy.
For sure. And as AI gets more powerful, those ethical questions, they're going to be even more important.
Speaking of powerful, the article mentions chatbots going beyond just your website, like social media, messaging apps, everywhere.
Think about it. You're scrolling through Instagram, see a product you like, bam, a chatbot pops up to answer your question.
Or you're chatting with friends, and boom, a chatbot helps you buy something right there in the chat.
The possibilities are endless. It's all about making shopping super easy no matter where you are.
But for businesses, I mean, keeping up with all these changes, it's got to be a lot.
It's a challenge. That's why choosing the right chatbot provider is so crucial. You want someone who's on top of their game, constantly innovating, pushing the boundaries.
So it's not just about what works now. It's about what's going to work in the future as AI keeps evolving.
You got it. Stay informed, stay ahead of the curve, and your business can really thrive in this new world of e-commerce.
Wow, this deep dive has been incredible. From picking a chatbot to training it to glimpsing into the future, AI chatbots, they're not just a fad.
They're changing the game for how businesses connect with their customers.
And if businesses embrace this technology, do it right, it can lead to amazing growth, make things more efficient, and keep those customers happy.
To everyone listening, dive in, explore the world of AI chatbots, and see how they can transform your e-commerce business.
The future is here, and it's chatting. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll catch you next time as we explore another exciting corner of the e-commerce